When we first discovered the Titanic, I was not allowed to tell the true story because actually I served in naval intelligence for 30 years. The Titanic was really a cover for a highly classified military operation to investigate two nuclear submarines that we lost during the Cold War with all hands.
When Robert Ballard found the Titanic, the world hailed him for closing one of history's greatest mysteries, with an iceberg as the final culprit. But what his cameras recorded wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a horrifying case. Upon closer analysis, far from the impact gash, a section of the steel hull was warped and buckled, as if it had been superheated by an invisible fire from within. Was the iceberg not the sole perpetrator, but merely the executioner of a preordained death sentence? What is the evidence for this? And what is the truth that Ballard feels compelled to confess before it's too late? The story everyone believed. In the year 1912, the world looked at a new ship called the Titanic, and people believed it was the greatest ship ever built by human hands. It was enormous, beautiful, and filled with the most advanced technology of its time. So people everywhere said that this ship was unsinkable, which meant they truly believed it could never, ever sink to the bottom of the ocean. This was the powerful idea that everyone shared, a symbol of human progress that seemed to promise a future without failure. The story of what happened next is one that almost everyone on Earth has heard at least once. On the night of April 14th, while the ship was on its very first journey across the vast and dark North Atlantic Ocean, it struck a giant piece of ice, a massive iceberg that was floating silently in the calm water. Within just a few hours, the unsinkable ship did the one thing people thought was impossible. It broke apart and disappeared beneath the freezing waves, taking more than 1,500 people with it. After this terrible event, governments in America and Britain held formal investigations, called official inquiries, where they asked the people who survived exactly what they saw and heard. Based on the words of these survivors, the world was given one single, clear story. A story that became the official truth for the next 73 years. This official story stated that the iceberg was the only cause, a tragic accident where nature defeated the best technology that humans could create. This narrative was written into history books, taught in schools, and accepted by everyone as the final answer. But there was always a huge problem with this official story, a problem that no one could solve for a very long time. The most important witness, the ship itself, was missing. The actual physical evidence was lying completely out of reach, in total darkness, under more than 2 miles of crushing water pressure. The story of the Titanic was like a murder case where the body was never found. So, for decades, the world had to rely only on memory and words, not on physical proof. The question was simple, but impossible to answer. Did the story told by people on the surface match the truth that was frozen in time deep below? The real mission to understand what Robert Ballard truly found when he looked at the Titanic. We first have to understand the real reason he was even there, because the story the public was told was not the complete truth. Robert Ballard was not just a scientist who was interested in history. He was also a commander in the United States Navy, and he had worked with them for many years on very important and very secret projects. His expedition in 1985 took place during a period of history known as the Cold War. The Cold War was a long and very tense time of deep distrust between the two most powerful countries in the world, the United States and the Soviet Union. They were not actively fighting a war with soldiers, but they were in a constant state of competition, spying on each other and trying to gain a technological advantage, especially with their militaries. During this dangerous period, the United States Navy had suffered two terrible and mysterious disasters. Two of its most advanced and secret submarines, the USS Thresher and the USS Scorpion, had disappeared in the Atlantic Ocean. These were not just regular submarines, they were nuclear submarines.